All right. Welcome to our team call tonight, Fit Fanatics, and we have opened it up to Diesel Nation. Just want to make sure everything is set up and good to go. Let me make sure someone said they can't see and that it hasn't started yet. Give me 1 second. All right. We are live. All right, welcome guys. We have such a big treat for you tonight. I'm just gonna get some stuff out of the way just to update you what's going on. So I'm not gonna really go into my team, Fit Fanatics, just because we have a lot of people joining us, but we are all doing Bring the Bling with Diesel Nation and everybody else's team. So make sure that you are taking notes, that you are referring back to this and reviewing. This is amazing content that we have with these top coaches. I don't know about you guys, but I've already cried. I've already had chills. I've been inspired. I've seen some things that I could implement into my business. Don't take this information lightly. I know when I did the first push, it definitely helped and changed my business. And so many leaders were born in that. And the same will happen with this group. There's been some 21-day fix updates. They're adding more Spanish foods. I actually went before this call to take a look, and there's yuca and some exotic passion fruits. I mean, I don't know about you, but I love a little Latin food, and now we get to spice it up with even more variety. That's in the back office if you want to take a look. The Beachbody Performance line, I'm getting so many questions on how to implement this with the 21-day fix and this program and that program and tons of questions. They have a webinar that is, I mean, in detail about all the products with the Energize and the Hydrate and Recover, Recharge, and the Creatine. So that's in the back office. That's in the breaking news. So make sure you're always checking the updates of what is going on and watch that webinar. It's going to tell you, what color it is on the 21-day fix and what is a free food. So check it out. The more you're informed, the more you're curious, the better we can help our customers and our coaches get amazing results. The specials, the size is 140. I don't know if you guys have been seeing Micki Fernandez. She's our guest speaker tonight. She is sizing it up. Let me tell you, I laugh at all her videos in a good way, not a bad way. She is seriously rocking this thing. I don't know if you've seen the last video she posted, but hilarious. 21-day fix extreme. Tomorrow it ends. The sale for 140. I wouldn't really post all over Facebook that the sale's ending because you don't want to cut off anybody. I would just simply follow up with all of your prospects. The 3-day refresh is 140, and we have the Kickstart packs. Use that to your advantage with a Team Cup right now. There are awesome prizes. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but Tier 1, if you get 1 to 30 points with your team as a whole, and everyone gets Success Club 5 and 10, you get a selfie stick, a Team Beachbody selfie stick. It's probably going to be personalized with Team Beachbody. I don't know about you, but I love my selfie stick. I just think it's so fun. I've joined the cool club and I got one. Tier 2 is 2 points to 50 points as a whole, and everyone has to get 5 to Success Club 7, and you get a limited edition size hat. I have one. I love it. It's super, I feel super cool and pimp as I do my size workouts. Tier 3 is 3 to 75 points, and you need Success Club 10. Everybody does, and you get a men's or women's size shirt. So that's it on announcements. Just make it brief because we have an amazing, amazing speaker. I just want to share real quick with you just a little bit on how I found her and how I feel like she is someone to follow and look up to in this business. A year ago, my father passed away and, was not a good place for me. Beachbody became like a therapy for me and having an addiction to get away from that pain. And, my father's favorite place was Europe and Santorini, Greece. He would go there every summer for 3 to 4 months. He would rave about this place. He would post pictures all over Facebook. And I'll never forget being in that dark place. I would keep seeing flashing on my newsfeed this Micki Fernandez and her, beautiful inspirational posts and faith-based posts. And, it touched me. It touched something in my soul and my core that, my father is in a better place. And, I realized that dreams do come true if you work hard and, you set goals for yourself. And, Micki Fernandez showed me that, she could travel the world, and thanks to Beachbody, be there, thanks to herself working hard. And somehow I'm all putting the pieces together, but I just know that I was connected with her for a reason. We met in Cancun, Mexico on the Success Club trip, and I just had to run to her and say, oh my gosh, she was inspired me since day one. And she's really touched me with all her posts and just who she's about. She's an amazing, amazing person that has inspired me from such a dark place until now. And so I feel incredibly blessed to have her on this team. And she is a God lover. She was a 2013, 2014 elite coach, a 10-star diamond. She's a Success Club 10 all-star legend. And I feel so honored to have her. So welcome, Micki.
Thank you, Danielle. Oh my God, I'm already getting emotional just listening to what you just shared. I can't thank you enough for having me on your team call tonight. I will tell you that first and foremost, I have an agenda, of things that I want to share with all of you. But I will tell you that I am driven by the Spirit. So whatever the Spirit convicts my heart to share, that's what I'm going to share tonight. Okay. But I have to say, off the bat, right? Danielle, you just said something so powerful. And this is how I'm going to kick it off. And then I'll tell you a little bit about my background. That you were in a dark place, correct? You were in a dark place because you lost your father. I mean, that is something to really mourn about. And yet you were following me, my journey in Santorini. Now, my journey to Santorini took a lot of heartbreaks. I had to go through a lot of dark moments to get to that place. So as my spiritual mentor always tells me, that your problem that you're in right now, you may think is a problem, but it's really the solution for someone else. I hope that makes sense. So embrace where you are in your life right now, because when you overcome that and you come out of that dark place, you will be the light for someone else. That's what we're called to be. We're called to be the light in the world. Oh my God, I just got hot by saying that. All right, so let me just say that I joined Team Beachbody in 2009. I've always loved fitness since I was like 18. I was probably the first one in my family who lifted a dumbbell. And I didn't know why. Like, why did I love fitness so much? Usually, you're following someone, or someone in your family is a role model. There was no role model in my family at all. But it was a seed that was planted in my life at such a young age, at only 18. And I didn't know why I love fitness so much. But I realized that and I forget who says this, that your passion leads you to your purpose. So I didn't realize that back then, God was already hooking me up. I had no idea. But yeah, I love fitness from a young age. And by way of background, I was in corporate America for 27 years. I worked for Citibank, and I managed one of their largest branches here in the city. And initially, I loved what I did because I love serving people. At the end of the day, we're called to serve others. And it was just very fulfilling for me back then. But corporate America became a very toxic environment. And I was not happy with where I was at. So fitness was my escape. Like, I would always go, I was a gym rat all the time. I would always go to the gym, and that was how I released stress. And as I said, in 2009, I joined Beachbody because my brother had an amazing transformation with P90X. You know the story, right? Go through an amazing transformation. I'm like, oh, so those, those before and after pictures, they don't hook that up? This is for real, So it's not until you see someone in your own in your own circle of friends that goes through this transformation, and then you make it happen. So just like probably 90% of the population, I signed up as a coach with a discount. Like, who doesn't like a discount? I know I do. So that's why I signed up. But I had no idea that behind the Team Beachbody website, there was a business opportunity. Like, really, I had no idea. My brother and I both signed up more or less at the same time. We had no upline. So we had no one really to guide us on what, the do's and don'ts about this business. I had to fall in a very dark place in my corporate life to see the benefits of this. Now, we all know that to be a successful Beachbody coach, and you've probably heard this 1,000 times, follow the 3 vital behaviors, right? Sometimes we take that for granted, like, yeah, wah, yeah, whatever. But yeah, whatever is really what's going to help your business. So back then, there was no 3 vital behaviors. All I knew is that I love to share what I was doing, and I was sharing through social media that I was doing P90X and how much I loved it and blah, blah, blah. And before you knew it, my sister joined, and then friends joined, and it just started growing organically. And before you knew it, we had a team. And before you knew it, I started, going from a $30 weekly check to a couple of $100 a week. I'm like, hold up a second. This is not really a hobby any longer, right? Because initially in the beginning, I treated it as a hobby because I was in corporate America. I made a 6-figure salary. I had all my benefits. And so for me, this was just fun. It was just fun. I was that coach that I'm sure today I probably have some of those coaches in my organization that I want to hit them upside their head. Like, don't you see this amazing business opportunity that can get you out of the hellhole that you're living in? But I thought I had it better. I was kind of cocky, to be quite honest with you, in my corporate job, really. But I had to fall in a really dark place where I had no other choice but to look up. I had to look up and say, God, there's got to be something bigger and better for me, and, I was blessed with amazing people on my team. And as you all know, it's the team cycle that makes it all happen, right? So the team just started growing. And I made a scary decision 3 years ago to leave my corporate job. Now, I will tell you, financially, I was not in a position. See, I told you, none of that stuff is on my notes. Okay. I was in no position to leave my job. Okay. I also never really shared how much money I've made throughout the years with Beachbody, but somehow I feel that I need to share this on tonight's call. So picture this, right? So I left my 6-figure job where I was making, I don't know, back, I think it was about 125,000, something like that. That's how much money I made. I had all the kinds of benefits, but I had no life. Like, I worked Monday through Saturdays. I worked probably about 80 hours a week. I spent no time with my family. I spent no time, like I didn't spend time with anything. My life was all Citibank. So I had to really take a piece of paper and write down the pros and the cons. Okay. So there's anybody in the call right now, you're trying to figure out what you should be doing. This is my piece of advice to you. Take a piece of paper, just like I did, and I wrote the pros and the cons about either staying in the pit of hell, which was Citibank, or Shitty Bank, how I used to call it, or this amazing business opportunity of helping others live a healthy, fulfilling life, right? And the pros in taking a leap of faith, which, by the way, was not easy. There was a lot of prayer, a lot of discernment. Yeah, I had to do a lot of that before I made that, because it was scary. Like, I was scared to make that jump, right? Because I knew that a big con was that once I left, I was going to have no medical benefits. There was a lot of things that I had to give up. But I was in a position that, I wasn't paying rent. I didn't have kids. I didn't really have much responsibility. So it was okay for me to take that leap of faith, because that's what it was. So that was in 2012 when I left. When I filled out my taxes, the first year as a full-time Beachbody coach, I made $35,000. Now I went from 130 to $35,000. How the hell did I survive? Like, that's huge, guys. But what this business taught me was self-discipline. That's what this business has taught me. So here I was in corporate America helping Tom, Dick, and Harry make money because, you know, I was in the finance business, but I didn't have a freaking pot to piss on myself. I help other people, but I couldn't help myself. What was wrong with that picture? The more money I made, the more money I would spend. That was wrong. That's what the problem was. So I learned self-discipline. Like I even stopped getting manicures. I stopped getting pedicures. You know, I had to do that myself. I mean, like, I cut it down that bad. I had to stop paying my life insurance because, you know, I had debt that I had to pay. So I could not even afford my life insurance. That was pretty scary. Scary that, you know, that if something happened to me, I didn't have medical because I couldn't afford it yet. But all I knew is that I felt peace in my heart. Like, I knew this is where God wanted me. And I knew that I was going to prosper. And I knew that if he took me out and put me here, that I was going to be okay. All right. And I have been. That's been 3 years. I've doubled my salary, what I used to make at Citibank. And I'm just sharing that to give you guys hope. But you know, how did that happen? It didn't happen overnight. Like, that's just being very consistent. Like, I went through a lot of, you know, ups and downs. You know, we all do. It's called life, you know, and we all go through struggles, right? I don't know if you guys have gone through struggles, but, you know, I have, and I'm still going in the midst of some crazy things in my life. So let me just share with you that the struggles that we go through, they're meant to be overcome. And once you overcome them, it's to get you stronger for the next one. That's what happens, okay? I don't know what you guys thought you were going to listen to tonight, but, you know, this is what you're getting from me because this is my passion. And as I told Danielle, listen, I may not be a top coach making millions of dollars. You know, I may not have the best systems in place, but I'll tell you what I got. I got heart. I have heart and I have faith and I have a lot of freaking conviction. And I believe that the bigger the struggles, the bigger the blessings. Okay. So I don't feel sorry for anyone. I really don't anymore. Don't think that I'm heartless, but just because I could speak to you from a place of conviction because I've overcome so much stuff. And every time I come over, you know, I get out of it, it's a huge blessing that's been waiting for it, you know? So I know that, you know, when there's struggles going through, which I'm going to share with you what I've been through in the last 2 months, I'm like, oh, snaps, there's a big blessing coming around the corner. So I'm just going to embrace this and I'm going to keep plugging through. So we all have different chapters in our lives. Like, we all have different chapters. Right now, I am about to enter chapter 49 because I'm going to turn 49 years young in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, Shakeology does a skin good. It keeps the wrinkles away. Anyway, so yeah, a couple of chapters. Like, we all go through, you know, we all go through chapters. And for many years, I was ashamed to share a lot of things about my life. And now it's like, ask me, which chapter do you want? 1, 2, 4, 5, 48, what you got? What do you want? I'm going to share with you. And then I'm going to share with you how I overcame it, right? So I'm the eldest of 3. My father was a deadbeat. He used to, his hobby was gambling. Yep. Our family trips was at the OTB office. You know what the OTB is? Off-track betting, the horses. Yeah, that's where he used to take us on family gatherings. And again, I used to be ashamed to share all that, but it's who I am today. That's what got me here. And yeah, I've been through 2 marriages. I used to be ashamed to share that too. Listen, I made a choice, right? We all make choices, whether good or bad. Whatever choices you've made in your life is the reason you're on this Google Hangout tonight. That's what you got. That's what got you here. Your choices, good or bad. Hashtag own it. Okay. So yeah, and my first husband is a cancer survivor. My second husband lost his battle to cancer 4 years ago. He lived a double life. So while we were married, he had like 2 other families outside of our marriage and had kids out of our marriage. And that hurt because I couldn't have kids. I went through menopause when I was only 33. And so at the time, like, I was like, what the hell is going on, you know? But all that was to prepare me to who I am today. Because I know that tonight, what I share so far has affected at least one person. And if it was just one person that I touched on tonight's call, thank you, Jesus, you know, mission accomplished. Because that's what it means. Because I know that what I have to share is going to shed some light, okay? So I went through all that, guys, you know? And so even after all that, you know, the last 2 months of my ex-husband's life, I was with him. Like, I took care of his ass his last 2 months, you know, because I still love the dude, you know what I mean? And, you know, it was he was coming to an end, you know, and I forgave, and it set me free. So there's some of you out there that are holding grudges. I know I'm talking to somebody tonight. If you're holding a grudge, you got to let it go. Because if you're asking God for blessings in your life and you haven't forgiven, now you know why. You're not going to be blessed. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care what systems you have in place. If you're holding grudges and you're holding unforgiveness in your life, you will not be blessed. You have to let that go. I'm speaking to you from experience, guys, okay? I share with you that I had a deadbeat dad. I took care of him his last 7 years in a vegetative state. He was in a nursing home for 7 years. I took care of him. I was a daughter he didn't love. I took care of him, okay? My husband dying from cancer, I took care of him last 2 months and forgave the 2 of them. So I owned my choices in life, you know? Again, good or bad, I owned them. And I realized that it was all part of my purpose to get me where I am today so that I can share with much conviction. So you need to identify what your why is, okay? You know, right now I'm running a new Coach Basic group, and today's topic was about talking about your why. And I don't know what, this just crossed my mind right now because this young man, you know, shared on a video that his why is financial freedom. Negative. That's not your why, okay? So being financially free, paying debt, going on vacation, those are not whys. Those are goals. And it's okay to have goals. It's great to have goals so you can work towards it. But your why is connected to your purpose. Like, you were created for a specific mission. You have a specific mission that you have to deliver. Okay? So God created this mission, this purpose. That's what he created first. And then he created you, specifically you, to fulfill that specific mission. So when you were created, you know what else was created in that? All your choices, good or bad, they were all part of it for you to fulfill that. It's almost like, you know, Moses being in the desert for 40 years, right? It was after the 40 years. Hello, the promised land. Okay? That's what we're going through, guys. Like, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not making this stuff up. This is all in the word. It's in there. And I share this with you guys. I mean, I don't know, you know, where your relationship is with God, but Danielle, you know, introduced me as a God lover. Yeah, that's my dude. That's who I love, and that's who I am here to serve. Okay? So, and going back to the why, to your purpose, that's why you need to embrace your story. Embrace your struggles. And don't hold back. Like, don't be a holder-backer. That's my hashtag. Oh, by the way, you know, Carl shared that at Summit. Can I tell you that my heart came out my ass when he said that? I'm like, oh, did he just say that? Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, this is who I am. Yeah. But yeah, like, don't be a holder back. Like, don't hold back who you are. Don't hold back your struggles, because sometimes we fear that we're going to be judged by others. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? Like, do others pay your bills? They don't. You do. You take care of your own business. So write out your story. Write out your story. So I'm going to share with you how I wrote out my story and how I came up with my what. Well, Beachbody called it the why statement. I called it my purpose. Okay, because that's what it was for me. So here's what I had to do. And I'm going to challenge you all to do that, guys. You may not like it, but, you know, if you want to get things out of life, you know, you've got to start feeling comfortable, feeling uncomfortable. And that starts by writing out your story. Okay. You know, everything we go in life has a purpose, right? So I was asked to write out my story by Beachbody. And you may ask yourself, well, how do I start writing out my story? So, you know, lucky for me, I went through an annulment process with my first husband. So, you know, through the annulment process, guess what I had to do? I had to write out my story. So thank you, Jesus. Even my annulment process had a purpose, you know? So I had that written out. I shared my story with my mentor, Beachbody, back then. And so he read my story. He's like, you know, you've got a powerful story, Micki. Let's identify what your power statement is. And so I said that I wanted financial freedom. And he says, great. That's not a why. That's not a power statement. That's a goal. That's where I got it from. He says, why do you want financial freedom? So my question to you guys is, because everybody wants financial freedom. Why do you want financial freedom? What's driving you to want financial freedom? So my response to that was that I wanted financial freedom because I didn't want to be chained to debt, right? Like, I didn't want to be held back by debt. He's like, why not? I'm like, what do you mean, why not? Because I don't want to. I want to be free. I want to be free to get up and do whatever I want. He goes, why do you want to do that, Micki? And I'm like, I want to do that. And I'm like scratching my head, like, really? Like, why do I want to do that? So I started questioning myself, like, why do you want that? I'm like, because I want to be able to spoil my mom, actually, now that I think about it. He's like, great. Why do you want to spoil your mom? And I said, I want to spoil her because she, you know, gave me and my siblings she gave us her back for us. She was a single mom working in a factory. You know, I worked in a factory when I was 12 years old to help my mom pay for bills, you know, and now I feel like I owe this to her. And then he said, well, why do you think you owe that to her, Micki? And then I said in my head, and now you're pissing me off. You're getting me upset. Why do you keep asking me all these questions, you know? And then I broke down crying, like, with this man on the other line. I had never met him before. I was so embarrassed. I'm like, oh my goodness, why am I crying? Like, why am I crying? And he said, you're crying because your why, your purpose wants to come out. It's in you. That's why you're crying. You've been holding it in for too long. And this is what Beachbody business has done for me. I have found my identity. I have found my purpose through this business. I shouldn't say identity. That's the wrong word to say because my identity is in Christ. But I have found my purpose in this business through my story, through my struggles, through my ups and downs. And my power statement is that I am a messenger of hope. That's what I am. I know that I give hope to people out there that have a broken relationship with their dads, who have not forgiven their dads because they've been abandoned. I overcame that. And now I can share how I did that. Like, I can put my hand on their shoulder and say, I understand exactly how you feel. Okay? I can relate to people who have been raised by a single mom, you know? And it's, you know, I'm Latina, just in case you haven't noticed. But, you know, a lot of Latinos struggle. And they struggle because they grew up struggling just like I did. So for me, struggling was normal. It was normal to be in debt. It was normal not to have the finer things in life. It was normal. So I thought, right? So I can relate to all that. And so that's the reason why, like, I created this hashtag Latina Boss. So I want to teach other Latinos to be their own boss. Okay, that they don't have to allow their past to dictate where their future is going to take them. Through this business, okay? I'm able to help women, okay, who keep making the same damn mistakes and picking the same deadbeat, partners. Like we're so quick to say, why do I always hook up with these deadbeats? No, you're the one who keeps making the same mistake. It's not them. It's because we negotiate the non-negotiable in life. Like we negotiate the non-negotiable. Why? Why do we do that? Because of low self-esteem? Because we think we don't deserve better? Hey, listen, I've gone through 2 breakups. I've been single for 9 years, and I know I will get remarried. But right now, I'm enjoying my season of being single, of fulfilling, part of that mission that God created me for. I'm able to relate with people that have lost loved ones to cancer. I can relate to that. I can relate to, women, who have been, their husbands have cheated on them. There's kids outside. I know all that and how I've learned to forgive. That we don't have the power in us to forgive. We have to go to our Heavenly Father. It's through Him, and we hold on to Him to help us. Like, I get all that. And that's why you will always see that, I love anchors. I love anchors because they stand for hope. And God is my anchor. That's why I love anchors. Eagles, that's the name of my team, is based on scripture. And, those that hope in the Lord, and there goes the word hope again, which is anchor. Like everything's all connected, just embrace your journey, guys. Write out your stories, and, share it with your sponsoring coach. And then, ask to people, your team members, or go on Facebook, and ask people to describe you in one word. See how people see you, and how people see you has to do with your story. I'm sure some of you have people in your life that still act like they were back in high school, but they're adults. You guys know anybody like that? I know I do. And the reason why they act that way is because they're stuck in their past. They're stuck in unforgiveness. Like unforgiveness, guys, when we can overcome that, we will be set free, because the truth does set you free, guys. Okay? So just embrace all that, I shared that, just a little while ago, that my last 2 months have been also crazy, because through each struggle, like I said, you get stronger for the next one. And, those that follow me know that I busted my ass. I broke my wrist, and I have a plate and 4 screws holding up my wrist, which is a reason that I can only do sides right now. So because I can only do sides right now, that's why I put so much passion and love into it. Like what you see on my videos, like I'm not even making that stuff up. Like that's really me. Like I give it my all, because that's all I can do right now. I never questioned why I fell, The day that I fell, actually the day of my surgery, I was on all kinds of pain. I may get emotional on this, because every time I share this, I do get emotional. And I was on all kinds of painkillers. They had me on Vicodin. And I remember when the numbness went away in my arm, I started getting desperate because Vicodin wasn't working. And it said, take every 4 to 6 hours. It had only been 3 hours. And I couldn't take it. So I popped 2 more, and I overdosed on Vicodin. I thought I was having a heart attack, actually. I broke out in all kinds of sweats. And the pain was still there, guys. Like it just would not go away. I can't even explain to you the pain that I was in, but all I knew is that I came into my room, and I just got on my knees. I got on my knees and I cried. I cried that ugly cry, like bad, like I was desperate, but I never questioned why I was going through this. I knew there was a reason why I busted my ass. I knew there was a reason why I broke my wrist. I just didn't know why. Like, why did you allow this to happen, Lord? I trust you. And, this pain in my wrist, this is my scar. Can you see my scar? This pain, this scar here, I thought about when Jesus was nailed to the cross. And a lot of people think that he was nailed here, but it was really in the wrist. So I just joined my pain with him. And, that's how I was able to sustain that pain, and during that process, also one of my coaches on my team the next day was also going through a hard time herself and going through a surgery. And I promised her that I was going to pray the rosary for her. And in the midst of my pain, like I was like dying. And I'm like, I promised I was going to do this for her, and why am I sharing this with you guys? Because sometimes in life, like so much crap can happen to us. And then what we do is we hide. We run the other way because we don't want to deal with it. But life is not about you. It's not about you. It's about others. So in that moment of pain, all I knew is I gave my word to my coach that I was going to pray for her. And I didn't care what kind of pain I was in. I was surrendering my pain to God, and I lifted her up. And as I tell my team, your struggles that you're going through right now, don't hide. That's when you really need to show up. That's why even through my surgery, my mom, I come back from Summit 3 days later, thank God that I'm able to take care of her. And I caught that, that stroke because I'm home. That's what Beachbody has done for me. Okay. I saw her face and I knew. How did I know it was a stroke? Because my dad suffered a stroke. But by the grace of God, it was just a mild one. And my mom has so much spunk, which is where I get it from. And she was able to overcome this. But I never stopped showing up to my business. Never stopped showing up to my business. I don't know who's on the call. If there's somebody on the call that, you're working full time and you're thinking that you just don't have time, I'm telling you right now, you need to make the time. Because you're probably not happy where you're at right now. And that was me when I was working for Shitty Bank. I was so miserable over there, but I knew that I had to get the hell out of there. And I stopped negotiating the non-negotiable, and that was showing up to my business. Okay, so if you have a full-time job, you show up. You show up 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever time you show up, you clock in and you clock out. Why? Because you got bills to pay. So you got to do the same thing in this business. Because in this business, is not only are you changing your life, but you're changing the lives of thousands of people. Like you could be the only person that can save someone. Like that's it. So that's my message for you guys. Like, embrace your story, embrace your struggles, write down your story. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. It's not. It's, because a lot of emotions are going to come up. When I had to first write out my story, many people don't know, but I used to collect Barbie dolls. I think I have like over 200. I should put those suckers on eBay. I got to get rid of these Barbies. Like, what the hell am I doing with all these Barbies? But anyway, I was so angry as I was writing my story, and I just took all my Barbies. I didn't know Barbies could fly. I was so pissed. I was just throwing everything all over the place. And then I burned my wedding album. It got ugly. But anyway, I'm just warning you, it ain't going to be pretty, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth every second of it. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. God created a purpose for you. Go out there and fulfill it.
Amen, sister. That was beautiful. You had me like laughing and then feeling like, oh, chills and then laughing. I felt like a little bipolar there at first.
I'm a little bipolar, I guess.
Touch me. And I just want to bring up this one thing you talked about called the success principles. And they're really like the God principles. And if you follow them, you're going to be blessed. And Danny Johnson, she preaches about this to no end in all of her books. The Spirit-Driven Success and the First Steps to Wealth. She said, if you forgive people, if you help people, you like just simple success rules in life, you're going to be blessed. And so I think, reading those books, implementing them into my business, it's been blessed. And our team as a whole has been blessed, and that's why you are blessed. But I love that you said the bigger the struggle, the bigger the blessing. And I think so many people overlook that, we all have struggles. We got to share that. We have to own it, like you said. I love that. You've got to own it. And just know if you're going through struggles in your life and, someone says no to you in this business or your team is struggling, just know there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you got to stick with it. You got to suck it up, own it, and show up every single day. Like, hello, want to shake some people. Like, just stick with it. There is a light. Your blessing is coming. Your why is connected to your purpose. I love that you said that. That is so true, because, you know, Coach Basics, I run 1 or 2 a month, the same thing. People, you know, want to help people or is financially connected. And I think that's okay to have it financially connected, but why? Why? Like that core purpose. And so even if life happens, like you said, life is gonna happen. But if you are so connected to that core purpose, you're still gonna show up. You know, my father passed away a year ago. You look at all the things that you just said. I still showed up every single day owning it, because, you know, it kept my mind busy, but I knew this is where I had to get, you know, to get my family ahead, to get to my purpose, to live a quality-filled life. And I love that you said give hope. I feel like it's part of my purpose now, like giving hope. I mean, that touched me. Your story has touched me so much. And stop negotiating the non-negotiable. Like, that's gonna be my banner in my team page. Stop negotiating the non-negotiable. I loved it. And it's not gonna be pretty. It's just going, what was it? It's not gonna be pretty.
It's going to be worth it.
Yes, it's going to be worth it. I wrote that wrong. I loved it, hands down, amazing call. Honestly, you're a beautiful person inside and out, and I just feel truly blessed to even just have been connected with you, because I think you've brought so much value into my life and into others. I know that you've touched more than one person on this call tonight, so I'm truly thankful and grateful for you. So thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime, Danielle. Anytime, guys. Thank you so much for having me on the call.
Thank you so much. And this is recorded, so we can share it, and I'll share it with you. So have a great night.
Thank you. Good night, guys. Peace.
Thank you.
See you in the morning. Size it
Go
up.
see her video. She's amazing.
Good night, guys.
Bye, guys.